The more I reread Harry Potter, the more I question Dumbledore. Albus made a lot of questionable choices, but I still wouldn't trust anything written by Rita Skeeter. Not our world. There's danger in being a wizard. There's also simple cures for injuries and stuff. Negligent adults isn't a new phenomenon. You can't hold fictional characters from fictional worlds to real-world ethics. And why do you want to? It's fantasy. Have fun. Wouldn't have made for much of a story if everyone just went home after the Chamber of Secrets opened and lived happily ever after. Rereading the series actually made me like Dumbledore more. He gives off a mysteriously omniscient Tom Bombadil type air. I know there were theories for a bit that Dumbledore was a seer, and I still stand by that the entire book series makes way more sense if he was. He lets a lot of things happen for seemingly no reason that just kind of all work out that no sane person would allow, lol. I always say, he was a good wizard but a terrible headmaster, and even if he was considered a good headmaster, it just seems like he was just clueless. Rita Skeeter, go away. Albus is a master mass manipulator who chose to be good instead of bad. He also chooses loyalty over ability, like when selecting Hagrid as teacher for magical creatures. I think we need to realize that Dumbledore didn't plan on dying that night. It's safe to say Draco did catch him by surprise because even Snape didn't know the Death Eaters were inside Hogwarts. If Dumbledore lived that night, he and Harry try to destroy it, finds out it's fake. I bet Dumbledore figures out who RAB quickly. Yada. Eventually he dies from the curse, but I'd say he had, at the very least, a week from when he actually died. Snape thought Dumbledore was raising him for slaughter. It turns out Snape cared for Harry more than Dumbledore did, but hated how much like James he had become. In fact, if you reread the books from that perspective, you'll realize that Snape was punishing himself, while it was Dumbledore's pride that came before the fall. Dumbledore's final gambit was to put his faith in Harry to do the right thing, knowing that he would stand up for his friends and those that Voldemort marginalized. In any story with a child hero, the adults have to be at least a little bit incompetent. Otherwise, the adults would take care of things, and the kids wouldn't have to step up. Rowling does her best to write Dumbledore as wise but flawed, and to get rid of him at strategic moments. But if he was truly as wise as he seems at the beginning, Harry would just be a normal kid and nothing interesting would happen. Totally agree. Dumbledore? More like Dumbledore. Albus may have not been a Dark Lord, but Grindelwald didn't make up his greater good philosophy alone. Dumbledore may have chosen an entirely different path from his friend and maybe ex-lover, but the headmaster wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice anyone, including himself, for that greater good. Newt Scamander, Severus Snape, and Harry Potter are just but a few who experience getting played, guilt-tripped, and pulled along for it. You've been reading Rita Skeeter, haven't you? /double_committee 6607. Albus is manipulative. It just takes a few reads to understand how little he actually did to help anyone but himself. Sirius is the worst example. 5 minutes is all it would have taken to save him 12 years. In Azkaban. But FFS, you can't go buy a potion to unpetrify a bunch of teenagers? You can't leave the stone in Gringotts where it's far safer than Hogwarts? There's more, but you get the idea. People really like to ignore the whole scene when Snape confronts Dumbledore saying, "You raised him as a lamb for the slaughter," because Dumbledore knew Harry was the final Horcrux. Albus Dumbledore is portrayed as some crazy wise hero, but I've never liked him. That's a lie. First couple times watching Harry Potter when I was much longer, I definitely saw him how I was supposed to. But what kind of wizard lets a child take on evil alone, save for his two friends who are also just children? Agreed. Highly irresponsible man. Speaking specifically to the allowing Harry to compete in the tournament part, Dumbledore states that if your name comes out of the goblet, you're bound by a magical contract. The only other magical contract I can think of is the unbreakable vow, which if you break, you die. I doubt breaking the contract in this case would kill, but the consequence is likely still pretty not good. That's the entire point of his character. He comes across as wise, and definitely as wise, yet deeply flawed. He has questionable decision-making skills, very secretive, but is clearly aware of these flaws. He's one of the greatest characters written in literature, IMO. Just feels so alive and unique. See, the thing about Harry and the Potters is that it was written by someone who's not all that smart. So she wrote a dumb person's version of a wise old man, which leads to Dumbledore being more mysterious than clever. You're totally onto something here. Dumbledore's definitely a morally gray character. It's wild how much his decisions impact Harry and the others. Makes you question the whole wise mentor trope big time. Yeah, Dumbledore is intended to be a bit morally complex. He also readily admits to having made mistakes and misreading situations at times. I think questioning Dumbledore is fine, but some people take it too far and try to turn him into some kind of monster. Yeah, but Dumbledore is a maverick. No Dumbledore, no party.